Hey everyone, hope you are having a great night. We wanted to get together before we all depart for Dallas just to go over a few things to make sure we're all on the same page, answer your questions, and help you get the most out of this incredible experience. So I'll just tell you, last year, this experience was my favorite Optavia experience I've ever had. I was just blown away. I think the caliber of the people in the room and that it's so intimate. It's really, we get to know each other on a better level. And the training was great. I love going to a new place other than Atlanta. So I am so excited just to be able to hang out all together as a team. So here's what we want you to do. Put in the chat your questions, any questions that you have. We have a couple of things we wanted to make sure we shared with you so that we are all on the same page. But first, and of course, I'm a big dork. So I came up with the 5-in-1 tips to know before you go to Dallas. But we've got a lot of veterans that have gone on a lot of trips that have a lot of knowledge. So we want to hear from you. And then we also want to hear your questions. Okay. Tip number 1 is to be present. Whoever is there, whoever is in the room, whoever comes to Dallas, those are the people that are supposed to be there. So you are there and you are there for a purpose. So just be present, be where your feet are planted, trust that everybody's taking care of what's happening at home and the right people are in the room. Second tip is to dress in layers. Y'all, these hotel rooms that we meet in can get cold. So dress in layers so that you don't have to be cold and you can take off layers as you need to. Tip number 3, be thinking about your action steps. You're going to be hit with all kinds of information, right? You're going to be hit with things you want to get home and do, or maybe things in your health or relationships. When I came home from my last experience with Jim Dethmer, I had things I wanted to work on in my marriage, with my family, all the things, right? So come up with a list of your action steps. In my notes, I keep 1 page just of the things that I want to make sure I do, because you can get flooded with so much information. And what we don't want to do is just have what we call a jacuzzi experience, right? Where we all come together, we get all this good information, and then we don't do anything with it, right? We want to do something with it. So make a list of your action steps. Tip number 4, and this one comes from Dee, talk to people. The cool thing, I love seeing all the different executive directors that are in that room and asking questions like, hey, how did you find out about Optavia? You might find somebody was somebody's plumber and they shared the program with them and boom, it's so cool to hear people's stories, hear about their health, hear about their business, their heart. And this is such a great way. So talk to everyone, right? See what you can learn from every interaction that you have. So tip number 5, when we come back on that Monday on team time, we are going to ask you to share. So be thinking about things that you might want to bring back to the team, your team, that you might learn. Okay. And so we did 5 tips. So here's the big one. And that's to know that you belong. You belong in that room. Sometimes when we get in these groups, we can kind of fall into that imposter syndrome, right? Where we start to feel like, do I really belong here? Am I supposed to be here? So I just want you to know, eyeball to eyeball right now, that you do belong. You are supposed to be in that room, and let's all go get the most out of it. Get the most out of the experience. You're going to hear in just a second from somebody who had kind of those thoughts the last time she went to this experience, but wanted to just remind you, sometimes when we're around and our energy is down, right? The best way to get your energy up is, and I'm just going to say, put it in the chat if you know what it is. But and my best way to get my energy up is to be around passionate, happy, excited people, right? So what do we know about energy? When somebody, and y'all, the dork effect is going to happen, but when somebody, let's see if I can do it, is on fire, and you got another wick of somebody who's not on fire, and you combine the two, see if I can do it, y'all. I'm going to burn down my house. Both, like, the fire gets bigger, right? So crazy, but that's what's going to happen to us. We are all going to take our lights and hopefully not burn our houses down. And our energy is just going to explode. And we're going to come home and help so many more people and have a lot of fun. So Elizabeth, we'd love to hear from you, because we know last year you came into this experience having all kinds of fears, and it was really meaningful for you. Would you share with us what you learned?
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, everybody. I am so happy to be here with you guys tonight. And I want you to know, whether you're watching this live or recorded, I can't wait to get to ask you those questions Meg was just talking about. I can't wait to stare you in the eyeballs and hear your heart. Because, guys, that is what broke my fear, was being eyeball to eyeball with all those other people and seeing that I did belong, that I didn't have to dress a certain way. I didn't have to have a fake tan. I didn't have to have the perfect nails or hair, that I could show up with just my passion for my heart to serve others, and that other people were so excited to share that experience, that I was among friends, I was among allies, I was among people who wanted to grow alongside of me. And that really did ignite me. Like, I thought that I was on fire before. I thought I had a heart for this before, but going last April and getting outside of my comfort zone and meeting people that I had seen on Zoom, but not in real life, and getting to sit next to them and see what did they take notes on, what was their takeaway, getting to have meals with them and chill out in hotel rooms and debrief from the day. There's just a human connection that is really hard to translate on screen, that's so tangible when you're there, that I want, if you don't hear anything else tonight, for you to know that bumps and bruises, and even if you forget something in your suitcase, you're there for a reason. And we're so excited you're going.
That's so great. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for sharing. We're glad you're coming back and excited to see what's in store. All right, Dee, I know you have some tips for us too.
Yeah, well, really, you covered all the big stuff. First of all, like, I'm just so stinking proud of all of us that have made the decision that we're going to invest our time, invest in, each other, to be there and support each other. And as Elizabeth said, that's a big part of this, is the connection piece of it. And I just want you to know personally, I'm super excited to see all of you guys. It will be a lot of information. Jim Dethmer is, he's pretty intense on the personal development. It might be new to you. If you're sitting there and you're like, woo, not sure what this is, there will be something, or I call them aftershocks. Like, after you get home, you're like, oh, that's what he meant. But just realize, take it easy, deep breaths through it. If you get overwhelmed, like I can get overwhelmed in crowds, or too much of attention, like too much talking, too much whatever. If you need to escape, go hang out in the bathroom for a break, or go back to your room for a couple of minutes, just know that that's a-okay, and it's normal. It's normal. Like, we're all wired differently. So there's lots of opportunities for us to be together, but if that can be a bit much for you, just know it's okay to separate a little bit if you need that to recharge. But yeah, talk to people outside our team as well. Like, that's where events to me are where you can capture vision and potentially see yourself further. And I kind of shared that on my Facebook Live about convention. Like, I thought executive director was so far out. I thought, I don't know that I could do that. And then when I got there and met all these people and I heard their different stories, I was like, oh, wait, I think I could do that. And that has just repeated itself at all the different types of events. But it is a privilege, you guys, to be invited and to be there. And we just want you to know we see you, and we're going to do our best to help make it a great experience for you.
And we also wanted to just find out, what questions do you have? Like, I know for a lot of us, it's our first leadership event. For somebody on here, at least, it'll be your first Optavia event ever. So how cool is that going to be? But would love to know if anybody has any questions, things that they need to know. Your question will probably help somebody else on this call. Elizabeth.
It's silly, but also serious. How much is everyone leaning in to the themes night for the final party? Like, on a scale of 1 being like, to like 10, like, I've ordered a costume off of Amazon. What do I need to be looking at? 10, Brick.
I can't decide if I want to go. I can't decide if I want to go Madonna or like Farrah Fawcett or Charlie's Angels, like that.
You can't go wrong.
I want to warn y'all, Frank's going to have the prettiest hair there. No, he hasn't seen it yet.
Good. It'll be so fun. Mm-hmm. And if costumes aren't your thing, don't do it. Who cares? Right?
Okay, I have a question. For traveling, at least from Thursday to Sunday, what would you say are the must-haves that you should pack for clothing? Does that seem a little
yeah, I mean,
it is like I don't want to be there and not be able to like, maybe I should have had a swimsuit, or maybe I should have had a jacket, or that kind of thing.
That's a great question. I mean, you can check to see the facilities if they have a pool or a hot tub or a gym. Like if you want to do that, that'll be on your own time. I would definitely say, Megan mentioned it earlier, to bring layers, bring a sweater or a jacket or something for the room, the conference room. They're usually chilly. And I would say comfortable shoes as well, because sometimes, I don't know, I've not been to this hotel, but sometimes it's a lot of walking. And so I would say that's what you want. And then you're going to want a notebook to take notes in, good pen, water bottle, your own fuelings for during the break, during the day. And if I have a lot of veterans here, so if I've forgotten anything, chime in. Weather is upper 70s and 80s. I'm going out early, and my friend said that they're dressing summer there. No. Hey, Gina.
Hey, but remember, dressing summer on the rare times we go outside, but dressing winter for the inside, because it's usually pretty cold. You were asking about clothes. Most people wear jeans or colored jeans. Like, it's really comfortable and casual. Sometimes you'll see people a little, well, really, you don't really see people dressed up. It's pretty casual, which is nice because you want to be comfortable.
Yeah, it's a lot of sitting and you want to be comfortable.
I would just say wear what you feel comfortable wearing.
Yeah, you don't feel like you have to go buy stuff.
No.
I always say, like, maybe what you might wear to dinner or something, like for me, it's like jeans and a little bit nicer top, but a lot of times, especially on the Saturday, people are tired and whatever, you'll see a lot of people in their kind of Saturday attire, like, up to be a shirt or something comfortable. So just be you.
I was going to ask a question and share a tip. The tip I was going to say is, what I always have so much that comes to my mind as they're speaking. So I always, in the back of my notebook, jot down like the big things I want to remember when I get home. So I just make like a top 10 list. And those are the things I'm like, oh, when I get home, I want to remember that. So I make a list of all those in the back. So that might help y'all. And the question is everybody going to Uber from the airport? Is that the best way to travel? Like cost, convenience? Yeah.
Last year, Vicky and Mandy and Beth Bilton and I tried to Uber, and the guy showed up with a 2-seater and a full trunk. And so Vicky and Mandy hopped in there, and Beth and I just grabbed a cab, and it was probably the same amount. We flew into Love, not to Dallas Fort Worth. So there weren't any shuttles. Is this a different hotel than last year?
It is.
It is? Okay. I was thinking it was the same hotel.
I think it's in the same vicinity, but it's a different hotel.
Yeah. So we just Ubered. We Ubered one way and we shuttled another.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you driving, Shauna? Bringing your Keurig? You can bring it on your suitcase?
I'm going to make sure I have a carry-on. If I can't get it in my suitcase, that I can bring it in the carry-on.
So we're coming to your room for coffee.
I know, right? I brought it to convention. I will have to get some water bottles once I get there, but I'm so weirded out by the coffee. I watched a thing on, how they clean them, and I'm just and I don't like to go downstairs and get coffee. It's a small one though. It's one of those skinny ones that.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Mm-hmm. And you might want to write your name and your telephone number on your book in case you misplace it. So that somebody can, if they find it, they can find you. Did everybody see about Telegram being the way that we're going to communicate when we're down there? Good deal. Awesome. And we were able to secure 34 seats for dinner Thursday night at a restaurant. So we are so excited about that. Excited for those of you that are able to join us doing that with us.
Yeah, so make sure, I think we've reached out to everybody, and hopefully if you're on this call, you got the email from Meg. I know a few people couldn't find it, but we do need your RSVP to know whether or not you're going to be there Thursday. But the most important thing was the restaurant for Friday night for our team time. They need the head count and the menu by tomorrow at noon. So we asked for that RSVP if you have not, to do that by 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So. And Meg, the Thursday night restaurant's like walking distance, right?
Yes.
Close.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's 0.4 miles away, so less than half a mile.
Yeah. I mean, you might want a small umbrella, like, Texas is like Georgia. I mean, it could rain if it gets, warm or whatever. So, and then the Friday night dinner is a mile away. So, and I have no idea about neighborhoods or anything. So that might be where some people want to combine into Ubers. And we made that right at, was it 6 o'clock? Mm-hmm. We end at 5 and it's at 6, and we're thinking everybody just come dressed as you were for the day. Don't worry that you need to change into any kind of party attire.
So the ticket that you went in and did the link and purchased, that's for Friday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about Thursday night? If I end up being there on Thursday night, is that something that I had to sign up for too, or?
It'll just be on your own. So everybody will have their own ticket. You will buy whatever you want to buy in terms of.
Yeah. I just didn't know if I had to say that I would be there or something on Thursday night, because I think I will, definitely be there.
If you filled out the Google form and said yes, that you'll be there, we are thinking you'll be there.
It's nerves. I don't know what I've done at this point.
Okay.
Oh, it's okay. I can take a look.
And we can change it if we need to.
Yes.
So, Linda, I know you put a comment in the chat. What did you, specific question about the restaurant on Thursday, was it?
Yeah, I might have missed that. I don't know what we're doing Thursday night. I'll be there. Did we get information on that?
So all we did was RSVP to say, would you be interested in joining us for dinner on Thursday night? Because we were trying to see how many people will be there. We can't rent a space because then they have food minimums and stuff. Right. But anyway, we found a restaurant that can accommodate about 34 people, which is we have 45 coming. So a good amount of the team. So if you want to be a part of that, if you said yes on the form, we will then give the details of where it is in our group chat. On that Telegram.
I think I did. If I didn't, can you change my answer?
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you.
Connie?
Yeah. Is the Telegram, because when I put that in for the app, is it through Messenger?
It's called Telegram Messenger.
Okay. I just want to be sure I had the right one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Emily?
Oh, hi. I remember. Okay, microwaves, and there's something else besides microwaves. What was it that we liked last year? Was it just microwaves? Can we call and ask for one? Do you know?
You can absolutely call and see if they can provide one. A lot of hotels will. I'm not sure about this particular one, but I would definitely ask for it.
Okay, thanks. I think that's all. No.
Some of them have them on the floor too, like down by the ice machine. That's what at convention, it was down by the ice machine.
Awesome.
All right, Gina.
Are people coming in? I know a couple of us are coming in Wednesday. Are there any gathering plans for Wednesday night?
No, there aren't any gathering plans for Wednesday night, but I know Corey is coming in on Wednesday. I know there are several people, so that would be a great thing to put in Telegram and maybe see who wants to have dinner on Wednesday. And there's lots of good restaurants close by.
Okay, great.
Connie, did you have another question or just still have your hand raised? Okay, I was going to scan the chat. What else is on your mind? Julie, yeah, there's going to be like a vegetarian quesadilla. There's also salad and black beans. So hopefully it works.
This is probably in the email, but since I don't have it in front of me, Meg, once we sign into this Telegram Messenger, is there a way to find the group or?
There's a link. So there's a two-step process. Step 1 is to download Telegram Messenger. Step 2 is click the link in the email that I sent. And when you click the link in the email, it puts you in the group.
Okay. Got it. Thanks.
And make sure you have your notifications on or you'll never know when anybody's talking to you.
Okay.
I just wanted to say when I downloaded the app, I downloaded it on my phone and I searched for the group and it was not there. So then I went and I downloaded it on my Mac and it gave me a scan to merge the app together. And then I was able, then the page loaded on the connection to the group loaded on my Mac, but then on my phone, it said, delete. So you can only use this device. And then it brought it over to my phone, but it was weird. It showed up on my computer, but it gave me a QR code to scan to merge. So if that happens to anybody, that's what I did.
Glad you're settled, but hopefully that didn't happen to anybody else.
Right.
Anybody else?
It worked just to, just like you said, download it separately. And I downloaded it on my phone and then I went to the email on my phone and clicked the link, and then it came right up.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Elizabeth?
I got another question. Are we going to try to sit together during the sessions, like save seats, or are we just going to kind of come on our own?
Yeah, it gets really hairy. And so I don't think there's any way we'll be able to snag 47 seats. Usually what happens in these groups is we get on Telegram. I don't know if Zena's coming or not, but
she's not going to be there.
Man.
But if you love to do seat saving and stuff, like we could use a volunteer to flag people.
Yeah. It gets like when they open the doors, there are some Optavia ninjas that have been up all night. And as soon as those doors open, they run in and they save 80 million seats. D&I, that is not our strength. So if it is your strength, we would love that. But if all else fails, we will reconvene when we can reconvene. But put it in Messenger, like in Telegram. The last time somebody said, oh, I just found 13 seats, and I'm right here. And so 13 of us would get together and we kind of did groups. So we'll just kind of see how it works out.
And sometimes the best thing is when you get in and you're like, well, I guess I'm sitting here, and you meet some new people around you, especially if you have partner activities or something, it's kind of fun sometimes to be with different people. So, most likely you'll be going down with your roommate, whatever, if you're sharing a room with somebody or whatever, but we'll all be on the lookout for each other.
Lori.
How many people are scheduled to come to the event? Do you guys know?
We've got like 47, I think, from our team. I can look it up real quick. I think 1,000, maybe. Not that many. I mean, like in comparison to like convention, which is like 20,000 people, it's an intimate group, like I'll do my best, you guys. I mean, Dr. A will be busy, Dan Bell will be busy, but I love when I can to get pictures with him and get pictures with our team and stuff. So, I'll do what I can, never any promises, but between the parties and, the days, hopefully, it's a nicer, intimate environment because you can meet some of the other leaders too.
And go up to them and talk to them. Like if you see him, if you pass by, like he loves, or Dan Bell, Dr. A, any of the leaders, like we're all a community. So feel like you can talk to everybody.
He'll probably cry if you tell him your story,
Emily?
I know you're probably nervous to call on me again, but I was just going to say, if this is your first event, I don't know if it's anyone's first, but this was my first event last year, and it's 100% my favorite one. It was just very intimate. I got to know people on a different level, and I just loved it. So you're going to have a great time.
I'm glad you shared that, Emily.
Yeah.
And Sam, you asked what meals we'll be responsible for. I would check the link, and I don't know offhand. So check the link that I sent in the email that had all the information to know from the event sponsors. It should be in there. Or if anybody else knows, feel free to pipe in.
I mean, I know they said lunches were included. And then I know we've got our dinner with us, and then there's food at the party.
Yeah, they're providing food at the party. That's what they said. My guess is it'll be heavy hors d'oeuvres, and remember, 1,000 people will be surrounding tables. So, yeah, fuel beforehand. Some people will like grab something on their own before the party because they're like, I'm not dealing with the crowds. But very often they have great food at the parties.
Okay, so pretty much
good
just
question.
Kind of
Forgot about
for
that.
like breakfast, and then we should be okay.
What'd you say?
Oh, I was gonna say pretty much we should just kind of like get breakfast on our own, and then we should be okay during the day.
Yeah, probably breakfast and coffee on your own. They usually don't provide coffee, so they'll plenty of water. But yeah, so get breakfast on your own and bring fuelings, and then plan for coffee. I don't know if there's a Starbucks in the hotel, but there'll be a long line if there is. So what my little trick for Starbucks is wait till the meeting starts before the next break, before everybody gets out, go to Starbucks then, before everybody gets out.
My tip for Starbucks is I go to the grocery store and I get Starbucks Via, the little packets, which are delicious. And I use the microwave or the coffee pot to get the hot water and get some my plain approved creamer and keep it in the hotel room and save $7.
Awesome.
And if you like cold brew, they have cold brew, little cold brew packets that are really good. You just add some water to it and whatever you want to put in it.
Beth taught me this. Take your hot chocolate and a little frother and mix it with your coffee in the morning. And that's a great breakfast too.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, if you're flying, which I think a lot of us are, you can ship things through like Amazon Prime or Target to wherever you're staying, even if it's the hotel, and they will receive it for you as long as it arrives the day you're arriving. So that way, like, I'm not going to check a bag on my flight into Dallas, but I'll check one coming home. So I'm going to have my shampoo, and I love the sparkling ices with caffeine. So I'm going to have some of those. Those are incredible. And they don't have any artificial sweetener, which is really good in my book. And then Quest chips, because I find there's never enough protein in the provided meals. And so I always have a 4-pack of those so that I can just grab them.
Good idea. Is this helpful for you guys? Good. Anything else? Lauren, I see you came off camera. Do you have something to share?
No, I'm just excited. I'm excited to see all of you. It's going to be fun. Yeah, I do have a mentorship call, so I have to hop off too, but excited to see you guys in person.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, let's use the Telegram, right, Meg, for questions, and we're going to communicate as best we can. And we know clear is kind, as Brene Brown says. So we're going to do our best to communicate clearly for everybody. All right. See you in a week.
Bye, y'all.